What's up, guys? Today we'll talk about a Westbrook trade scenario, where he should want to go, which teams should trade for him, should the Rockets want to trade for him, and how much should teams trade for him. For this video, if you enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe. Takes 2 seconds, it really does make a massive difference. So reports just broke out that Westbrook has requested a trade from the Rockets, which, to say the least, was very unexpected. I thought that he'd at least wait out this year, play another season with James Harden as they were best friends. I saw the fit didn't really work out that well, but I thought as they were very close friends, Westbrook and James Harden, that they would wait at least one more year, but apparently not. But yeah, with this trade request, which teams should want to trade for him? To be honest, there's not a whole lot of teams that he's a good fit on, I'd say. Like, the best, obviously, if you watch basketball, as I'm guessing most of you guys do, for Westbrook to be successful, you need a lot of shooters around him. A team of all shooters. You really can't have a non-shooter on the court at the same time as Westbrook can be really successful. That's why the Rockets traded away Clint Capella, because that just clogged the paint with him and Westbrook. When Westbrook was in the wing with James Harden on the ball, both his man and Clint Capella's man were able to just sag off and play help defense, and that made it hard for James Harden or anybody else to be able to drive the ball to the paint. So yeah, seeing the most successful team that Westbrook could be on would be a team full of shooters, which is what he has in Houston. James Harden can shoot, Robert Covington can shoot, PJ Tucker can shoot. Everybody in that team can shoot 1 through 5, well, except for Westbrook. But yeah, and that's what makes it a good fit. But with this trade, I think most of the challenging teams that are in position for a championship, I don't think he really fits. I've seen Clippers trade rumors, but I don't think that works out too well, just because I'm not sure how he and Zubac would work. I don't think they would bring back Harrell, and he is getting paid a lot of money, which they would have to lose some of their depth, which is what made them good this year. As obviously their duo, Paul George and Kawhi, isn't as good as AD and LeBron, but it was their depth that made them favored by a lot of analysts and people, YouTubers, fans coming into the season. But if they trade for Westbrook, they'd obviously have to sacrifice a lot of that depth, including Montrezl Harrell, probably Pat Bev. I don't know. They'd have to throw in a lot of players to match up that salary, as Westbrook's being paid $40 million a year. But yeah, also the Lakers, I've seen that being tossed around. I don't really like this either, just because LeBron's the point guard. He brings the ball up the court, and when LeBron has the ball in his hand, as he has probably like 70% of the game, I'd have to check his usage percentage, but he brings the ball up the court and runs the offense. So when he has the ball in his hand, Westbrook's just in the corner or on the wing. That player can just sag off and stop LeBron from driving, which is where LeBron's most effective. Also, AD in the post, that Westbrook's player, the guy guarding Westbrook, can just sag off and help on AD in the post. So yeah, I've seen reports that the Bulls and the Hornets are the two interested teams as of right now. The Bulls is interesting because I think they could put around a pretty good team around him. Not sure how much they'd have to give up. But Otto Porter Jr., who's on a pretty big contract, which I don't think he's worth that. Most NBA fans think he's overpaid. But yeah, Otto Porter Jr. and some other salary, maybe they'd have to throw in this year's number 4 pick. That'd probably be enough to get Westbrook. But that just makes the Bulls maybe an 8th seed this year, 7th seed. probably a 7th seed, 6th seed, but I don't think that really puts them to title contending anytime soon. Westbrook's aging, getting up there, and doesn't really help them in the long run, but if they want to build a culture, I could see that wouldn't be a bad fit. And the Hornets also, but yeah, this same thing with the Bulls. This should just make them like an 8th seed this year. Wouldn't really help them out in the long run. But Westbrook is Jordan, one of the biggest faces of Jordan brand, and obviously Michael Jordan's the owner of the Hornets, so I could see him pulling the trigger and trading for Westbrook, Nick Batum, and some other salary would probably be able to get Westbrook. And this year's pick, I believe they have the 3rd pick. Not sure that's smart, but this year's draft isn't insanely talented. Maybe they feel like James Wiseman is the best they can get, and Westbrook's better than James Wiseman, I'll tell you that, but long run, like 4 or 5 years, how good is James Wiseman going to be, or Denny Avdija, whoever they would draft at number 3 pick. But yeah, should Westbrook, apparently, according to Shams and Woj reports I've seen, I'll try to put the tweet up, but Westbrook wanted a role similar to what he had in OKC post Kevin Durant, so he just wants the ball in his hand. I thought that Westbrook wanted to win the championship, but according to these reports, I guess not. Now, these reports could just be blown out of proportion and it could be inaccurate, but if Westbrook just wants the ball in his hand, then yeah, I could see him signing off on a trade to like the Hornets or the Bulls. Maybe the Knicks want to get into it if they feel like they can't get Chris Paul. Yeah. Also, another team just to throw out there, the Suns have been rumored in wanting Chris Paul, and with Westbrook available, if the Knicks or some other team grab Chris Paul before they can, they might try to trade for Westbrook. Honestly, kind of same thing for everybody else, any other team. When Devin Booker has the ball in his hand, he's on the wing, and that's Westbrook's biggest problem. When he doesn't have the ball in his hand, he's really just not good, and he's a detriment to your team. He's off-ball. I'm not a Westbrook hater by any means. I think he's a good player. He definitely does a lot of things that contribute to winning, but it's just hard to fit him in today's NBA game. You know, I think 10 years ago, where people weren't so aware and conscious of how important the 3 ball is, maybe 15 years ago, he would probably be a top 3 valued point guard, top 2 valued point guard. But today's NBA is just so different, and the points of the 3 is just so massive. As we see players like Giannis and Ben Simmons are unable to be successful without a shot. So yeah, what should the Rockets look for in return for Westbrook? I think the best they can get is just salary and a good pick. Maybe a young player, salary, a young player, and a good pick in the 1st round pick. So yeah, they definitely lost looking back at it, they lost the Chris Paul trade by a lot, as they gave up 1st round picks to get Chris Paul, to get Westbrook to the Thunder. And then now they have to lose Westbrook after 1 year. So Sam Presti finessed the whole offseason without a question. Looking back at it 10 years from now, I think we'll be able to point to last year's offseason with the Thunder as one of the greatest of all time, with how many picks they were able to get for Westbrook and Paul George. And teams shouldn't be giving up more than one young, good player, goodish with a little bit of potential, and a pick for Westbrook. I don't think the Rockets can really get another good player. As I've seen, James Harden wants to stay in Houston, try to contend. I don't think the Rockets can really get another star piece. Maybe like a Drew Holiday type player. I think that's the ceiling. But yeah, that's that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe. Really makes a difference. Take 2 seconds, and I'll see you guys next time.